You are busy, you are striving, you are praying, and yet life feels locked. The doors you knock on won't open, the effort doesn't turn into results, and that feeling that something greater is waiting for you never goes away, but it also never arrives. In the next few minutes, you will understand exactly why this is happening, and more importantly, what heaven is asking of you right now so that this lock can finally break. Stay until the end, because what comes after the 3-minute mark could be the divine instruction that will completely reset your next decade. There is a feeling that many people over 35 know intimately, but almost no one can name with precision. It's a strange mix of weariness and urgency. You are exhausted, but you cannot truly rest. You are always busy, yet at the end of the day you feel you haven't advanced anything significant. You pray, you strive, you try again, and still it seems there is an invisible wall between you and the life you feel you should be living. If this resonates with you, I need you to understand one thing before anything else. This is not failure. It is not punishment. It is not a sign that you chose wrong or that God has forgotten your name. This is a sign that you have been chosen for something greater than what is before you now, and that your primary mission has not yet been fulfilled. And when the mission is not fulfilled, life locks up. It's that simple, not because God is cruel, but because He is precise. Purpose has its own clock, which does not obey our haste, our logic, or the calendar of the people around us. What you feel in your chest at this moment is not anxiety, it is confirmation. Heaven has observed every silent struggle, every sleepless night, questioning why progress stalls, every prayer that seemed to hit the ceiling and fall back, the financial pressure that drained you while the bills grew and clarity diminished. It was recorded. Every betrayal from people who smiled to your face while speaking death behind your back. It was documented. Every health battle you faced in silence, every symptom the doctors couldn't explain, the chronic fatigue that became your new normal. Nothing went unnoticed. And the worst of it was the confusion. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. If you were being punished or prepared. If the divine silence meant abandonment or protection for a time that had not yet come. Chosen one, hear this with your whole spirit. You were never abandoned, never forgotten. You were being reinforced for something so significant that heaven needed to keep you in a season of pressure until the timing was exact. Every tear you shed watching others prosper in what you knew was your calling was recorded. The weight of a vocation no one around you could see, the frustrated attempts to explain your vision to people who lacked the spiritual vocabulary to understand. All of this had a purpose, and today, heaven says enough. What comes now is the revelation your spirit has been waiting for. But before we reach the divine instructions for this season, I need to show you something that most people get completely wrong about the moment they are living in. Many think that realignment means correction, that when God shifts your focus or increases your responsibility, it's because something went wrong, that the season of pressure is proof of failure. But in the heavenly realm, realignment does not mean demotion. It means trust. God does not give heavy assignments to people he does not trust. He does not place serious responsibilities on those who are unstable. When he realigns you, he is saying, "You proved faithful where you were. Now I can trust you with more." This is why the weight feels heavier, why the distractions have become more dangerous, why comfort no longer satisfies you in the same way. Greater anointing requires a stronger structure. Greater influence requires deeper roots. A greater mission requires a more robust inner life. God is not rushing you, he is reinforcing you. And what you are feeling right now, the pressure, the urgency, that internal stirring that won't subside, is not confusion. Confusion scatters. This feeling is focused. It has direction. It has weight. It is purpose knocking from within, asking to be released at the right time and in the right way. There's a reason your tolerance for distractions has changed, why certain things no longer fit, why comfort seems less appealing than clarity. Heaven is recalibrating you for what's next, not punishing you for where you've been. And for this season of realignment, 7 divine instructions are being released. Those who receive them and act step out of the cycle of stagnation. Those who ignore them remain on the treadmill, running hard but getting nowhere. Are you ready? The first instruction is this: your season of scattered focus is over. You've spent years trying to do many things at once. That was necessary for a season. It was survival, it was learning, it was foundation building. But now, Heaven is narrowing your assignment to a single direction. From now on, there is one work, one central priority, one calling that needs all your attention, not a slice of it. The reason distractions feel heavier lately, why things that once seemed harmless now grate on you inexplicably, is because they are no longer permitted to travel with you into this next season. What was once optional has become unlawful in the spirit. What you tolerated before will now hold you back. Think of it like an astronaut preparing for launch. The closer to liftoff, the more is stripped from the craft. Not because those things are bad, but because unnecessary weight compromises the trajectory. What sustained you on the ground can trap you outside the atmosphere. Heaven isn't asking for balance right now. It's demanding obedience. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what God said without negotiation, without delay, without excuse. Increase always comes with expectation. Favor always carries responsibility. Elevation always requires maturity. You know what that one thing is. Deep down, you already know. You just haven't given yourself permission to truly prioritize it. That's the first instruction. Don't negotiate with it. The second instruction will cost you more, and for that very reason, it will be worth infinitely more. Heaven is commanding you to kill every distraction that competes with your calling. You cannot carry destiny with divided attention, and the hard part is this. Some of these distractions have a face. They have a name. They have history with you. Distractions are dangerous, not because they're loud or obvious. The most dangerous ones are precisely the silent ones, the familiar ones, the ones that have fit so perfectly into your routine, you've stopped recognizing them as threats. They blend into daily life, seem normal, don't announce themselves as enemies. Some are people you love, some are habits you tolerate, some are cycles you keep revisiting because they feel safe. But safety is not the same as obedience. Comfort can become a cage when it replaces conviction. Familiarity can become a prison when it keeps you from moving forward. I'm not saying to become cold or cruel. I'm saying that love and boundaries walk together, that you can love people deeply and still protect the sacred space where your purpose grows. The speed of your obedience on this point will determine the speed of your advancement. This isn't a metaphor, it's spiritual law. Every day you postpone the necessary cut is another day in the cycle of stagnation. Do you have the courage for this? The second instruction demands action, not intention. Before we go on, I need to pause for a second. Are you feeling something as you hear this? a kind of internal recognition, as if every word describes exactly what you've been living but could never articulate with such clarity. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. If this message found you today, it wasn't the algorithm. It was something greater, and the least you can do is subscribe to the channel right now, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below saying, "I receive it." Because when you declare, you activate. The third instruction is the one the enemy most feared you would hear. Heaven does not demand eventual agreement. It demands immediate obedience. God says, "I am not moved by how loud you pray. I am moved by how fast you obey." Delayed obedience is disobedience disguised as prudence. Often, when we keep praying for certainty, waiting for one more sign, one more confirmation, one more peace that hasn't arrived, we already have the answer. We just don't want to pay the price of immediate obedience. And here's what most don't know. Every time you delay the action God has already shown is necessary, you weaken your spiritual authority. It's not God penalizing you. It's the law of the Spirit itself. Just as a muscle that isn't used atrophies, faith that doesn't translate into action loses strength. Think of someone in your circle who was once passionate about a dream, but kept putting it off, waiting for the right moment, the perfect conditions, and now speaks of the past with that specific sadness of someone who knows they let something pass them by. You don't want to be that person 10 years from now. Immediate obedience doesn't mean acting without discernment. It means when the path is clear and fear is the only obstacle, you move forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's obedience in spite of fear. You have something pending you already know you need to do. The third instruction says, do it now. The fourth instruction will reorganize your understanding of everything being removed from you right now. It might be an opportunity that didn't materialize, a plan that fell apart despite all your faith and effort, a relationship that ended when you thought it was meant to last, a position you lost when it seemed you were meant to grow. The natural reaction is to interpret every loss as defeat, but there's a perspective that changes everything. Sometimes, what God removes from you wasn't wrong. It was just too small for where you're going. He doesn't remove to punish. He removes to protect the space where true destiny will grow. There's a concept in agriculture called pruning. When you prune a tree, you cut branches that look healthy, that are growing, that have green leaves. But the skilled gardener knows those branches are consuming energy that should go to the fruit, so they cut. And the pruned tree yields far more than one left to grow in all directions, without judgment. You are being pruned, not mutilated, pruned. The fourth instruction says, stop trying to recover what was removed. Instead, ask what the liberated space is preparing to receive. Now I need to go deeper into something many people overlook, but which is absolutely fundamental to understanding why life gets stuck. There's a vast difference between knowing your calling and being ready to sustain it. You can have total clarity about what you're called to do. You can have clear vision, spiritual confirmation, even recognition from others about your gift. But if your character hasn't been formed to the same measure as your vision, the purpose itself can become a weight that destroys you instead of lifting you. History is full of examples of people who rose before their time, who received a platform before they had enough depth to sustain it, and who fell in a way that took years to recover from. God doesn't do that with his chosen ones. He waits, he forms, he presses. Because the pressure you've been living under isn't a sign of abandonment. It's the process of forming a character capable of carrying the weight of what's coming. Think of how gold is purified. It must pass through fire. Not once, several times. Each pass through extreme heat removes more impurities until what remains is pure, resilient, valuable in a way only possible because it went through the complete process. You are in the fire, and the fire isn't destroying you, it's purifying you. It's removing the pride, that thought it was self-confidence, the control that thought it was faith, the fear disguised as prudence that has kept you at the edge of the pool when God already told you to get in. And here's something that needs to be said clearly. Not all suffering is formation. There is pain that is a sign of misalignment, not process. How do you tell the difference? The suffering of formation comes with internal growth. You come out of it more whole, more mature, with more clarity. The suffering of misalignment comes with growing emptiness and distance from yourself. Pay attention to the quality of what you're feeling. It says a lot about where you are. The fifth instruction goes straight to the heart of anyone struggling with comparison. Heaven says, stop measuring your progress by someone else's calendar. You know someone who seems to have arrived faster, grown easier, harvested without as much struggle, and inside a voice whispers, why not me? Why not at the same pace? That isn't humility. It's the enemy using another's life as a distorted mirror to make you doubt your own process. Each of us has a ripening time, and that time is calculated not by our impatience, but by the depth of the fruit that must be produced. The more powerful the calling, the longer the formation. The more significant the impact, the more careful the preparation. Think of how gestation works. A baby isn't born in 3 months because the mother is in a hurry. The time isn't negotiable because the work requires the full term. Being born early means being born incomplete. You are not behind, you are in gestation. And what is being formed in you needs the exact time to be born complete, healthy, and capable of fulfilling the purpose for which it was conceived. The fifth instruction is this: celebrate the process instead of lamenting the deadline, because within the process is everything you will need when it's time for delivery. The sixth instruction will demand brutal honesty from you. Heaven is telling you to stop hiding behind spirituality, what is actually fear. There's a version of religiosity that looks like faith, but is actually escape. It's when you pray a lot, but act little. When you attend every service, every retreat, every spiritual event, but avoid the concrete decisions your purpose requires. When you talk much about what God will do, but do little about what God has already told you to do. Faith without works is dead. This isn't criticism, it's diagnosis. You may have spent months, maybe years, asking God to open doors, while standing in front of a door already open, waiting for Him to also push you through. The sixth instruction says, prayer prepares the ground, but action plants the seed, and without a seed planted there is no harvest, no matter how fertile the soil. What have you been postponing because of fear, but calling waiting on God? That question isn't for me. It's for you, in the face of what you know is true. And we arrive at the seventh instruction, the most powerful of all, the one that closes the cycle and opens the next season. Heaven is declaring, your season of preparation is coming to an end. What comes now is the launch. Everything you've lived through these last years, the losses, the struggles, the nights without answers, the failed attempts, the betrayals, the weariness, the financial pressure, the misunderstanding from people around you, none of it was waste. It was formation. You were put under pressure so character could be formed before visibility. Because visibility without character is accelerated destruction. Influence without deep roots becomes a noisy fall. God didn't prepare you to keep you hidden forever. He prepared you so that when the time came to appear, you would have enough substance to sustain the weight of what's coming. And the time is approaching, not in some abstract tomorrow. Now in this turning, in this season that began when you clicked on this message because something inside you recognized you needed to hear exactly this. The seventh instruction is both invitation and command. Be ready. Review what is pending. Resolve what is open. Cut what needs to be cut. Plant what needs to be planted. Because the moment of launch doesn't announce itself in advance. It reveals itself to those who are positioned. Now I need to address something that might be the most underestimated obstacle of all, the identity you built in the wrong season. Many people get stuck not because they don't know what to do, but because they built an identity around what didn't work, around the struggle, the scarcity, the survival, and when the season begins to change, when doors start to open, when the calling starts to take concrete shape, something inside resists. Because the new version of you demands the old one be retired, and the old one, however painful it was, is known, it's familiar, it knows how to function in the world. The new version is promise, possibility, but it doesn't have a track record yet. And the human being, by instinct, prefers known suffering to unknown joy. This has a name in psychology: psychological homeostasis. The internal system seeks balance, even if that balance is dysfunctional, even if maintaining that balance means continuing to suffer in a predictable way, instead of risking growth in an unpredictable way. That's why so many people know exactly what they need to do but don't do it. It's not a lack of information. It's not a lack of faith. It's the internal system protecting itself from the very change that faith demands. Recognizing this is liberating, because when you understand that internal resistance is a protective mechanism and not a divine stop message, you can work with it instead of being controlled by it. But there's something even deeper happening when this resistance persists for years. It's not just fear of the new, it's the unconscious belief that you don't deserve what the purpose promises. That the struggles were so long and so heavy that at some point you began to believe they were your definitive story and not just a chapter of your formation. That belief needs to be confronted with the same seriousness with which you confront any other obstacle, because it operates beneath consciousness, sabotaging decisions, blocking opportunities, and creating seemingly logical reasons to remain stuck. The healing begins when you look at that internal voice and say clearly, "That is not the truth about me. I was formed for more, and I will act like someone who believes that." How to start? Not with the most frightening decision, with the smallest possible action in the right direction. One step, just one, and then another. The internal system will discover that change isn't death, it's expansion. Purpose isn't asking you to leap a chasm all at once. It's asking you to take one step a day in the right direction. And the sum of those steps over time creates a distance that seems impossible when you look back from where you started. There is still an element that needs to be named with clarity because it silently sabotages many people in this season of transition: the grief over time that seems to have been lost. When you reach your 40s, your mid-40s, your 50s, and still feel your purpose hasn't been fully expressed, it's very easy to fall into a specific kind of sadness. It's not clinical depression, it's the weight of looking back and mentally calculating how much could have been done if things had been different, if you had obeyed sooner, if circumstances had been more favorable, if the people around had supported instead of sabotaged. That grief is real, and it needs to be acknowledged, not ignored. But it cannot become the lens through which you see the future, because when you keep looking at the time that passed, you lose the time you still have, and the time you still have is enough. It is more than enough for what was destined for you. There's a very deep wisdom that circulates among elders, passed down almost like a prayer. The best planting is the one that happens today, not the one that should have happened yesterday. This simple phrase carries a spiritual truth that many people take decades to internalize. You cannot water what you didn't plant, but you can plant now. And the soil of your life, however trampled it has been, is still fertile for what God has in hand for you. Release the weight of the time that passed, not as forgetfulness, but as surrender. As recognition that every experience, every mistake, every detour, every delay, all of it was absorbed by purpose and transformed into raw material for what comes now. Nothing was wasted, Nothing was left out of the plan. You have arrived here whole enough to advance, and that is all the next step needs. I also want to speak about the people around you who don't understand what you carry. It is very difficult to have a calling that the closest people cannot see. You try to explain your vision and meet blank stares. You talk about what you feel you need to do and receive practical advice from those who don't have the spiritual vocabulary to understand the depth of what you're describing. This is the loneliness of purpose, and it is one of the heaviest forms of loneliness that exist. But there's something that makes this isolation even worse. When you begin to grow, some people around you will react in ways that will seem strange. They will minimize your achievements. They will question your decisions with a frequency that goes beyond genuine concern. They will plant doubts exactly in the moments you need clarity, not necessarily out of malice, often because your growth disturbs something in them. Because when you advance, you become a mirror reflecting what they have not yet done. And that reflection hurts. Don't hold resentment, but also don't allow the discomfort of others to become the limit of your advancement. You are not responsible for the peace of those who don't want to grow. You are responsible for obedience to what has been placed within you. I need you to understand. It is no one's obligation to understand what was placed specifically in you. The calling is yours. The obedience is yours. The responsibility is yours. And therefore validation can only come from one source that transcends human opinion. You don't need people to understand in order to advance. You need you to understand and to trust enough to move even without the approval of your immediate circle. The greatest purposes in human history were fulfilled by people who were misunderstood before they were recognized. Recognition came after obedience, not before. Let me tell you something that happens to many people exactly in this age range, between the mid-30s and mid-50s. Research on human development identifies this period of life as marked by a profound recalibration of values. After the mid-30s, most people begin to question not whether they are being successful, but whether they are being successful at the right things. It's the moment when the career that seemed like the dream begins to feel like a gilded cage. When the stability so desperately sought begins to feel like stagnation. When the heart begins to collect the debt of the unlived life, the risks not taken, the vocations not answered. This isn't a midlife crisis in the pejorative sense popular culture uses. This is spiritual maturity. It's the soul demanding alignment. It's purpose knocking louder because the internal clock knows the preparation time is ending and the delivery time is arriving. And for those in this season, the 7 instructions we brought today are not suggestions. They are urgencies. Because every year that passes without answering the call is a year of dammed up potential, of fruit not produced, of impact not exerted on the people who are waiting for you to fulfill your role so they too can advance. Because your purpose is never just yours, it always serves others. Someone is waiting for your obedience so their life can change too. There is a chain of liberation that begins when you decide that enough is enough with delay. Every step you take in the direction of your calling opens space for another person to take their step. You are not advancing alone. You are paving the way. So I ask you now, and I want you to answer truthfully, even if only to yourself. What is the action you have been avoiding that would change everything if you simply did it? Not the action that seems safe. The action that seems necessary. The one that scares you a little. The one that requires you to leave something behind. The one your calling has been asking for longer than you'd like to admit. That is the action the 7 instructions are pointing you to today. I want you to leave here with 3 concrete commitments. First, identify today, not tomorrow, today. The main thing your calling is asking for in this season. Not the easiest, the most necessary. Write it on paper. There is something sacred about handwriting what the Spirit is telling you. Second, identify the biggest distraction competing with that main thing. It could be a habit, a relationship, an environment, and make the decision to start creating distance between you and that distraction starting now. Third, take one action, however small it seems, in the direction of your calling before you sleep tonight. One call, one bit of research, one conversation, one page written, one decision made. Any action in the right direction breaks inertia, and broken inertia is the beginning of everything. You didn't get here. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.